what you see on COLORBOND. You know, you see on the ad, you see that beautiful standing seam, and you know that's what you expect, right? So you can't just let anybody do it. Example, you know, because this is what you get. Like you're gonna every time you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
Unless you get someone with, you know, the experience and he wants to see that finish.
But you guys didn't know that before this.
Well, the thing is, we assumed that someone like you would be installing it. We not for 1 second thought that the builder would be installing it, just like our concrete floors inside. Like we thought that everything would be to a specific trade.
Yeah.
Had we have known in advance, we would have kicked up more of a stink than we did when we saw him installing it. By the time we'd seen him installing it, it was too late.
He didn't want to have that adult conversation and say, hey, I can't do this. I haven't quoted enough.
Yeah.
We need to go back to the drawing board, and if this is a non-negotiable, this is what we need to do.
And then you end up going to jail because you've had to do something you'd never ever do because you've done. No, I'm joking. Hey there, Gladiators. I'm Kenny from MyCladders, and we're here down at Webb Street looking at a house. Beautiful house. Hey, check it out. Look at the beautiful. Look how beautiful the house is down there. It's been really nicely renovated. And, you know, beautiful standing seam, nail strip, monument matte COLORBOND cladding down there that looks absolutely amazing. Is it, though? Because we're a little bit far. We're out on the street and it looks really nice. But we're going to go through here. We're going to meet Ben and Lisa, and they're going to tell us about their experience. We're going to go for a walk around this house and show you that their beautiful house that from out here, from far, is not so good when you get up close. Welcome to our little house of horrors 3. Let's go. This looks gorgeous until you get up here and see that. What is that? What is that? No. No. No.
Hey, Kenny.
How are we? Good to see you.
Lovely to see you again.
Ben? Wow, you've been on a bit of a roller coaster the last couple of years.
We are trying to get this over the line and get you guys in here to do this. So, yeah, it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, been a challenge. So, but yeah, this is our cladding.
This was the non-negotiable cladding that...
Yeah, like I said, I love the product and the shadows and the contrast with the timber cladding and the colour, the matte. I love the whole material. Like I love it, but it's hasn't been installed right, obviously. And yeah,
that's insulation up there.
Yeah,
That's or timber. What is that?
Well, we'll know when you pull it off.
Oh wow! That's just hang on. That's just a piece of flat that's been stuck up there.
Yeah.
So
you'd well and truly given up by then.
Yeah.
So on this, the builder essentially hadn't allowed enough in the budget to do it and had a crack himself.
Yeah, and I don't think he was a big boy to let us know that he didn't budget right, and 2, thought he could give it a go and he would be successful, but obviously he failed.
The thing is, we assumed when we'd signed the contract, knowing that it was a specialist product, that it would be installed by a professional installer. And when we came to the house and the builder was installing it, we were quite concerned, and we raised our concerns right there and then, and we're like, oh, you're installing it, it's not a professional or a specialist, and which we were assured, no, it's fine, I can do it. And then so we let it go. At that stage we didn't know that he hadn't allowed enough in the budget. It wasn't until later that we found that out, but yeah, he said that he could do it and it was fine. And then once it was finished, we weren't happy with the quality, as you'll see when we do our walk around.
No, nor should you be.
And that's when we initially called to get some quotes to see if it was done correctly or how much it was going to cost to fix it. And then that's when it was suggested that the whole lot had to come off and get redone. And so we started the QBCC process, which was long and stressful, but we're here now.
Righty
and we're very excited to have it all taken off and get redone properly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's take a bit of a walk around this place and see some of the beauty that we can see.
I think measuring is a challenge for him.
Sorry?
Measuring. He's pretty short in places.
Look, the whole, if you look at the finish on what's happening up here, he had no idea of how to finish it. And with this, you really need to pre-flash everything above that.
Yeah.
So where you put on your side flashings here, like he hasn't done the worst job. I mean, you don't need to do it with rivets. And the idea is that this is a concealed fixing system. So minimum fixings is what you'd look for. And he's kind of got a bit of an idea, and he probably should have watched our YouTube video on how to install cladding, and he didn't. But
when you get around to the far side, you'll see the gap filling, like you said, it's just silicone. And you're like, what were you thinking?
Well, let's. As I walked in, there was this one here, which is just terrible. He's cut it. Now you said they used angle grinders.
Well, you can see. I think you can see in sections here where he's nicked the cladding itself, and it's starting to rust. Where he has given it a go with the angle grinder. There's further evidence around as we get around of him using an angle grinder. The finish, though, you know, that there's once we get around, you'll see scratches, paint marks, stuff all over it, which is impossible to get off now.
Yeah, they just haven't taken much care.
Hello, puppy. Hello. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So I mean, like, if you look here, sometimes you need to rely on silicone. Or there's a system, and to seal it is like a last resort. Beside that, though, you don't necessarily need to. There is a way of doing that without having silicone, and it's much better if you can do it that way. So
this is actually one of the better ones.
Gapping and flashing, yeah.
Yeah.
But even these top corners, you can see he's butchered it big time. And like you said, I don't think he knew how to finish it, and he was just giving it a go.
And look, that's the really hard point. If you've never done something before, you take all the skills that you have prior to then, and you apply it to now, and you do your very best for the outcome. Mm. But if you're not getting there, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Like there's a point. If you can't deliver something that you'd be happy with yourself.
Well, at no point did he have any doubt in his own ability, you know. But it's clear that he just should have stopped. He should have stopped.
There's a rolling edges. Yeah, you can probably see the angle grinding cuts up the top there, and the massive gapping underneath here. If you get it underneath there, all these scratches. I was just like,
yeah, see, yeah,
beautiful product turn up, and then
like a big scratch up on there.
You just butchered it.
There's a big cut, which is one of the things that the QBCC picked up on, like the overcut on the corner there, and they're like, "There's water's going to get in there."
Yeah, 100%. And that's an angle grinder cut too. See how clean that cut is?
Yeah.
Because you can't cut something that neat with snips. So that's an angle grinder to start with.
And the fact that it hadn't been installed properly has voided our warranty with COLORBOND.
Yes, exactly. One thing that the other I've noticed is that that's been installed hard down on the bottom there, where it needs to have a little gap, like a 3mm gap. There's no real golden rule, but there does need to be a gap so that if anything gets in behind that, it can get out. Yeah. He's done some things like putting fall on this toe, putting fall on these here. He's done some of that. Like he's used the rules for code. I've seen other jobs which are horrible. So he's done those sorts of rules right. It's just the delivery of the whole thing's pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
Oh, like that. That's pretty.
That's not too bad. There's worse.
Yeah.
The fold, yeah.
Well, there's with things like that, cutting down to a point. Like he has used snips on there.
Yeah.
He's also folded that out and folded it back in. But when you do these sorts of things, if you leave like a 2mm square edge or 3mm square edge, it makes it nice and tidy. So you come down a tiny bit, come across and come across there, and it just tidies it up. You don't pick that that's there, but yeah, like this. I get your point. You scratch. Oh, what's that? It's pretty bad.
Is that just the silicone?
Oh no, it's just not finished. It's all just turned down and bogged and riveted and horrible.
Oh, this big gap here. I don't know what he's tried there. He's just tried to overlap them.
Out of here, dog.
Onto each other.
Yeah, well, what happens? That's. I don't know if you can see underneath there. I'll turn this over. That he's got some. I can feel. There's the frame. That's me getting to the frame underneath there. All right, that's interesting. But what happens with these flashings is you need to order one end a millimetre wider, so when they sit over the top of each other, they actually
sit flush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you order them the same size, then they don't fit. So
okay.
that's something else that is a
Experience doesn't tell you.
yeah, exactly right, exactly right.
And that might have been that one actually that they got pretty upset
Yeah,
about.
you can definitely see that.
Yeah. Now this has been put on ply. This has been installed onto ply,
Yes.
which I've never ever done before. But a lot of the fabricators, a lot of the roll formers state you install it onto ply, and a lot of people think that's how you need to do it. We install everything onto battens,
Okay.
just because you've got a lot more control, a lot more system. Timber warps underneath this here, so even if you screw that timber into the wall, it will act totally differently. Plus, it doesn't give you the vapor barrier, the thermal break between the wall and the sheeting in the wall.
Breathe, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
essentially, like once we've done this, your house will be cooler because you'll have a gap in between there that the air can move.
Yeah.
And it comes up the fins and then it leaves out the side and goes up. So
Okay.
So are you expecting to see the ply with moisture on it?
maybe, but maybe not. No, not really.
Okay.
Unless you've gone around gurneying and pushing water up over the top. I don't see that there's, other than the little gaps and things up top, I don't see massive chance for it being wet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I just wouldn't install it on ply, and the sarking should have been behind it all.
Yeah, it was this was the one of the ones we were worried about our nieces and nephews.
Oh, you're right,
Running
wow.
around the corner and just playing hide and seek or running around, and we were like, oh, that can't be right.
So it's just been, silicon cut, and it's not very good, and that there.
Yeah, the kids aren't allowed to run up this side of the house just at the moment.
Is that a scratch?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Installed like that.
So look, another thing with scratches is if you're installing a sheet and it's got a scratch on it, that sheet now doesn't.
Gone.
Yeah, so like
Or you just spray
you
paint
might no.
it. We'll get to that at the front.
Oh right, is there some of that? Is there? Oh wow, here we go. So with this though, like when you have these, you might sometimes get a little bit of a scratch or something there. You take real good care of that. However, our flashing system, we'll go through after, it stops and minimises the scratching of the sheets. So that's. But you will get minor scratching because it's a very, very delicate product. But being that it's a finishing trade, it's like a painter. A painter doesn't go around and then they scuff it with their arm and go, I'll just walk on. No, it's a finishing trade. So everything needs to be done and handled with care when working with it. The plastic stays on these until the moment it's installed. Once it's installed, we peel the plastic off and you move on to the next one and the next one. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Paint. Obviously, when they did the sealer, they just rolled paint on here like that. That sealer's never.
oh, that's
off
from
there.
the concrete, is it?
Concrete
Yeah.
sealer,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
That's never coming off.
Was this with the builder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got
okay.
that.
Yeah, that's.
Then you got this corner, which is
Oh,
lovely.
$36 degrees and it's in August. So if you're on the other side of the planet, just know that it's hot here in Queensland and we're in our spring and we've discovered that spring doesn't exist anymore. Global warming. It's all the wasted material that goes into the world and has to be reburned and turned into Temu toys. All right, here we go. So guys, we get to this part of the job and it's just disgusting.
Haley, the little
Oh, here we go.
MyCladders expert.
And then we're just showing Ellie like that little piece he slipped in there because he didn't measure up enough, and then had to rivet that off.
Well, I mean,
That's a
he's
little piece you had to get in there.
done a trick. He just didn't actually know what to do.
No.
The whole thing is not knowing what to do and trying.
Like the random screws.
What? Hang on. What's going on there?
That's our door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Not secure. Then you try to finish this end off, which is the
Yeah, we looked at that before, didn't we? It's kind of, what do you do there? Look, they are always a challenging area, and I think we spoke about that. It's not one of those things that is easy, but it takes planning on how you're going to finish things before you start, and when you do that, then you end up with a better result. But you were just pulling this off.
The whole thing can come off.
I don't think it sits secure.
So here's another thing. And I remember when I saw you guys, what was it, a year and a half ago?
It was 2 years ago now.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was that he'd installed this, and you can see that sarking in there doesn't run over the top of the toe mould. And so, to code, sarking needs to run over the toe mould. Sarking, silicon, plastic. That's just a piece of, again, just flat strip
Yeah.
that,
He's just slid in there,
Slid
right?
in.
yeah, just,
He didn't know what to do there, I don't think.
no.
Not at all.
Well, I don't think he did. So,
You got short here. He's had a rivet.
he's joined
Two separate pieces there.
one piece over the other, and he's, yeah, that's a
Oh, there's
bit.
a better one around the corner.
What's that? Is that a internal panhead Phillips head screw?
It's probably the same screw that's in the roof, huh?
Yeah, there is. The roof's got some funky screws in it, and that's, you can see that rusting there. That's corrosion 101
Already.
on the bottom of the sheet. Yeah, so that's rusting. That screw's rusting, and that's, here's the interesting thing. So you've got an internal grade screw right there, which is corroding, which is bleeding the corrosion out onto there, which will be then corroding that section of roof there. The toe mold, sorry. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah,
You
the deeper
poor
you get
people.
into it, the harder it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of these things.
I feel like now he really gave up. Like, as we get around, it does get worse and worse. Like, he well and truly had given up
the
by
gaps
now.
on the ends here. I gotta know.
Hang on.
whether you can put anything there.
What?
That's frame, right?
Well, there's the plyboard behind it, and it's just open air. Like the sarking, if the sarking's coming, I don't know what's going on there. That's really weird. It's got like a return fold, and I don't know. But the fact that you can see that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's the problems that you can see. Again, that's corrosion up the top. Oh, head rush.
It hasn't measured properly up here.
That his beautiful.
It's a random piece.
Oh, hang on. And there's.
Yeah, you had a screw in there as well.
Oh, wow. Hang on. They're all fixed up with,
All of it.
again, interior grade Phillips head panhead screws.
The whole way along.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's on a job that someone's paid for and expected a certain level of result. Yeah, kind of, that is 100% a first.
Finishing out here, like, I don't know, he just stopped. I didn't think he needed to finish in his corner. This corner
Oh.
here.
Yeah, you guys have like a sort of animal habitat thing going on.
100%.
Is that more
We're all for
like-
the environment.
Greenies and
Housing.
yeah, making sure the sparrows have somewhere to go at night. And,
Yeah. The possums, the snakes, all of the above.
oh right.
And then you can just see like these where the cuts are around, and as we get along the garage, it's definitely worse. But you know, he just hasn't cut them right.
It's ugly. I feel like singing UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
You ugly.
We've got that on camera.
My singing forever. I didn't even notice, and it wasn't until Kaylee pointed it out, but the rivets don't match. Some of the rivets that he's used too, the colours don't match. And
Yeah.
I've looked at this 1,000 times in the past 2 years, and I'd never noticed.
See, what's probably happened is he's spray painted up rivets to get the colour to match, and then they've hardened, he's popped them, and the paint's come off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's quite... It is. There's not too many people that do a really good job of the rivets and
Yeah,
the
okay.
fixings. So you have to buy specific coloured ones, and I've been fighting with... Whoa! I've been fighting...
This is the side I don't think he wanted to finish.
Oh,
This is what I think got him over the edge.
what is that?
It was at this
is
point that
that?
he'd completely given up.
Oh, it's under here. Like water comes in under there for sure.
That's what the...
The gap fill in the top.
Oh, at least
Left
it's
hand.
got damp course around the window.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a plus. He hasn't cut that off.
Even try.
What the hell?
think he potentially wanted to screw this bit of flashing to the window.
Oh yeah.
You didn't get
I don't know. I don't know.
He's tried to rivet it off. He's tried to rivet it and it failed. Oh. I've never seen anything like that. That's just.
Oh, look at the rust coming out of that already. Like you said, it's yeah, you can tell this is what would got him over the edge.
This is like the straw that broke the camel's
Scratchy.
back, I reckon.
But he did windows on the other side,
Yeah.
and they're not that bad.
No, this one's terrible.
He run out
I
of.
think, is it the first one? Or was it the last one?
I don't know.
That's.
This is the first attempt, and he mastered it as he got
Has it
around.
got around? Maybe.
That could be. Look, that's what he should have done. Like if you did the worst one here and then go around and then go, oh, you got to fix this one.
Yeah.
But what he's done and what he shouldn't have done is install all the sheets first.
Okay.
So he's gone around installing all the sheets, and then he's gone and tried to fix
Flashing.
like put the flashings on over the top. Where on the architectural cladding, you need to, and even non-architectural, when you're doing wall cladding, you pre-flash the entire job. Head flashings, toe flashings, side flashings, you do an underside flashing. The bottom, you do your toe flashing. So everything is basically done. You put all your sheets on, and then you might have a couple of flashings on the sides of windows. You may have some little tiny things, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's you're finished as you put the sheet on. Like once you put those sheets on, you never touch it again.
Yeah.
That's kind of the.
That's not how it happened.
Then we got our rodent hole.
Is that this?
Just under there. Yeah, we got.
Oh,
we got two of them.
that's the small one. That's for the babies. The adults come in through the front.
It's the little mice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still blown away by this. What is?
And it's a bathroom right there.
Oh. He's silicon that, right? And then this has been left to just, it's all right. It's fine. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, my Lord. I might come back to this later. That's when we dissect this and pull it apart. That'll be a day. Oh, so look at this. So the scratches. So in putting that barge on up there, the scratches that have gone on it, that's not understanding what needs to be done and how to be done. It's just been bogged with silicon at the back, which, well, we'll just do the same thing as well. Give it a bit of shazam. Look at that.
Nothing a bill of silicon can't fix.
Do your best, silicon the rest, as our mates here says.
Must be his motto.
It's
like these.
Yeah.
So see.
I mean, one thing. Oh no, hang on. I was about to compliment him. I was about to say he's gone and got a corner made up, but he hasn't. There's a cut sheet. Look at that. He's just siliconed that to that sheet. Concealed fixing. Silicon could be a concealed fixing.
Don't talk about that one.
Hang on, what?
Yeah.
Hang on, he's battened this side.
Oh, has he?
This side's been battened.
Maybe it was an afterthought.
What? Oh, it's rusted. He's got pan heads. Look at that. It's rusted in the bottom there. We can really crank on this now. Look at that. Sarking's going in behind it all. It's got the battens. And see those battens? They're a fairing channel batten, which is used for ceilings. It doesn't have a wind load rating.
Right, okay.
So that's not
Button.
doesn't meet code for wall cladding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think QBCC, the guy who come out, would have known that.
No, he wouldn't.
The skill set of those guys are touch and go, isn't it?
We try and be as positive as we can because they're the people we have to rely on to make sure. So hence why in that situation, so with the QBCC, you guys got an inspector to come and have a look, and so that inspection helped your case with the QBCC?
100%, because the inspector was the one that related everything back to code. So because we didn't have any idea, so we could, when the QBCC came out, we could say why it, like what the issue was and why it didn't meet code. So that was the best $1,200 we've ever spent.
Oh, and also yourself coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You highlighted things that we would have never known.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, like you said, that bulkhead or whatever it is has to go like that. That's how I would have assumed it. But then you just like, why is there a massive gap? And then I realised, like, it actually looks into my house. That's not a thing.
Yeah,
you can't just do that. Yeah.
And the QBCC inspector, you know, he was lovely, and he can only work within the parameters that he has as well, you know. But
well, that's look. In the end, just like a builder doesn't have the skill set for installing this, so they don't. Hello, doggies. they don't. They're not experts in that field, right?
Yeah.
So there's not many experts in the code of all of this, and I'm constantly trying to get my head around getting it right, and I still have to go to BlueScope and go to suppliers because I'm fighting them to make sure we get the best result for our customers. And a lot of the time we're pushing code because I don't believe that all of it's correct.
Well, like you said, what you see on COLORBOND, you know, you see on the ad, you see that beautiful standing seam, and you know that's what you expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just let anybody do it.
yeah.
Example,
Mm.
you know, because this is what you get. Like you're gonna every time you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
Unless you get someone with, you know, the experience and wants to see that finish.
But you guys didn't know that before this.
Well, the thing is, we assumed that someone like you would be installing it. We not for 1 second thought that the builder would be installing it. Just like our concrete floors inside, like we thought that everything would be to a specific trade.
Yeah.
And had we have known in advance, we would have kicked up more of a stink than we did when we saw him installing it. By the time we'd seen him installing it, it was too late, and he assured us that it would be fine. But you know, like I said, lesson learned for next time. You know, you have to have those things in your contract that says MyCladders is installing the cladding.
Yeah.
Like if worst case scenario, you think anyone who deals with sheet metal, roofers or something like that, would probably be doing it. But when I seen him doing it, I was just like, that's a red flag. And I kind of went over it with a bit of a fine-tooth comb, which I needed to.
Yeah.
Because he kept telling me it was finished, and it wasn't finished. And I've only just noticed just above the window in this corner here, it's rubbish.
And like I said, we've looked at it like 1,000 times in the last 2 years, and every time we come out here, we find something else.
This by far is the worst, the worst thing I've ever seen. Full stop. I think that's just
like the finishing up on the top here of this flashing to the seam. Like he has tried, but
none of that actually works. And when getting up on the roof, I'll put the drone over in a bit, and I'll put the drone over and overlay it right now. You can see that there's a big hole in between the sheets and the wall, that the gutter's coming down. He hasn't turned any of the sheets down, that he's used interior grade screws in there. There's so many different things wrong. There's so many things wrong. The spreaders on the roof that are coming down, they're wrong. So in replacing all of that, it's just about going to a system that works and understanding all of that. And they've just, he's tried. But, you know, so does I try to be a world-class roller skater. I'm not, but I can try.
I think that the frustrating part is it was an adult conversation. If it really came down to money, all he had to say was, I've underquoted, I need more money.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Have you got it? Do you need it? Like, do you need more time? Whatever the case is. But to just fumble through and just keep saying it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And obviously it's not fine. That was just the disheartening part, is that we were denied the chance to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think he got too far, right? He
Yeah.
got too far into it, and he's like, I can't backtrack now because then I'm going to have to pay for more material. So he's, like you said, he probably started at this window, and he's put all this up, standing seam, and then he's like the flashing, and just couldn't master it. And no one's going to come and just touch his work.
No, that's 100%
either.
Yeah,
so
100% right.
he didn't want to have that adult conversation and say, hey, I can't do this. I haven't quoted enough.
Yeah.
We need to go back to the drawing board, and if this is a non-negotiable, this is what we need to do. And we didn't do that.
It's pretty. Whoa! I see your point. Look at that. Oh, I did get it on camera. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it's like these bits. This was it. This one. It might be the next one where it's like.
Oh, there's a join just there.
Yeah, this is.
It's been joined with a rivet. Something else I've noticed. I mean, you shouldn't have any rivets on any of these to start with.
No.
And with that, if you are going to use rivets, we use a number 20 rivet, which is a 4mm rivet. These are a 1/8 bit rivet. Now, the 1/8 bit rivets were fine back when they were made out of galvanized steel, but galvanized steel reacts with the COLORBOND and then rusts it all out. And so everything went to aluminium, but everyone kept using the 1/8 bit rivets, which have no structural integrity, where you would have seen where rivets have been put in and they've failed and snapped out. So we use a number 20 rivet, which has actually got some structural integrity. So when you see that, then that's just, and the hard thing is the roll formers supply them. They don't supply the number 20s. You've got to go to a specialist fixer. So
You got to know.
the whole industry has a refix that needs to happen.
Yeah, okay. The siliconing, like he's tried to, like that silicone job is.
Well, look, there's parts, like that's pretty good. I mean, in comparison, problem is that's pretty bad. Yeah, wow, right.
He's over.
Okay, well, there's a hole.
There's another hole here too.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And then, yeah, also the gapping all up through there.
Well, this is one of my favourite bits.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Just run some silicone in there. I'll stop
Oh,
that.
that's probably, like, he's done well to get that silicone to hold, though. I mean, you've got to give him credit for that. That's pretty good. I mean, it's bad. Oh, wow. Oh, no, he hasn't done a very good job of that. That just split. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all pretty just garbage.
Yeah.
Kaylee, what do you reckon?
What about here?
Another joint.
Then he's painted that.
Oh. Oh. That's unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, these are some of the challenges where you've got to come to where a cable's going to be and a box is going to be. Sometimes you're better off creating some form of... Oh, what? Oh, hello. It's a hole.
That's for the babies.
See, here you go. Here's what I'm talking about. There's a rivet that he's put in that hasn't been able to hold, and it's just
popped.
It's just popped off.
Yeah.
It's just come out. I mean, here's another thing. See how where that rivet's... I mean, it's okay to use rivets. It's not the end of the world. However, if you look where that one's sitting, and that one, nothing lines up. Hang on, just notice this. This is on the piss here. That's not level. That's running, like, on a different angle. And that's probably been cut. Yeah, it has. That's been cut. And it's just siliconed that up. I mean, there's not... You can't... I always try to look to see where have they done a good job.
Yeah, yeah. I think up around the downpipe here, that's what is it? I don't know how he's cut that. If you can see the cuts in the back here.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's not cut with tin snips or anything, like it's just not
Maybe use the claw of a hammer.
it's not a shape.
It's not. Oh, wow. Yeah, again, it's that whole... And there you go, this is the concealed fixing using silicon.
Yeah.
Concealed fixing.
Spray paint.
Oh, is this... Okay, so this is the spray paint down here.
Two different times, yeah. He scratched that and
So one thing you never ever do is when you spray paint, have the all over it. If you spray paint, you use like a little... You get the spray can lid, and you get a little cotton bud, and you dip it in there, and you just do a little roll over it. Because you're going to get scratches, like you can see there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go, is it worth touching up, or do you go over it? But I mean, that there, don't put that sheet on, pull it off. As soon as you put it on, and when you've got people working around it, everyone needs to know, like a toolbox talk, don't, like, protect it once it's on. It needs to be protected, especially if you're going to be doing concreting around it. So I saw a bit of swarf that's just hanging out there at the bottom, bit of rust.
And then this is where the adult rodents go.
Oh, right.
That one.
they fit in
That's
there.
for the adult one.
Up onto the roof there. Oh, hang on, there's a big hole.
Yeah.
Straight up there.
Yeah.
So that one that comes to sleep with you guys, and it sort of, you feel...
Say g'day. Yeah. I don't like some of the edges that are just hanging out. Like, I'm glad we don't have little ones anymore, because I reckon someone's getting hung up on something like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then you end up going to jail because you've had to do something you'd never ever do because you've done... No, I'm joking. Cut that part. We don't talk about people going to jail.
So when we have our nieces and nephews here, which are little, they're not allowed to run around the house that we would normally have them do.
Yeah.
Because I am petrified that one of them is going to really cut themselves and scar or lose an eye or, because they're just at the window height,
So question, let's just come back over here and looking at all of this. We've been around the house now, and we've now the experience has been horrendous. We're now at the point where we're about to start on it, and you guys are going away. I'm going away, and after that, we're going to get on to that. And
we're excited. We
Yeah.
are very excited, and we couldn't think of anyone better to do it.
well, I appreciate.
Honestly, like, you know, you come out over the phone conversation. I explained what was going on, and you come out literally that afternoon, and you know your wealth of experience and what you've told us triggered all this, right? Triggered us an inspector. You know, we went back to the builder and said, "Hey, it's just not good enough. You know, you can't think you can just do it." And he obviously packed up shop and ran off. So we went through the QBC process, and here we are now, 18 months later.
And when we found out that, because we obviously didn't know that you would get the work, obviously, because QBCC is a bit of a process. We didn't know who the builder was going to be. And then when they said, "Oh, MyCladders," we were just like, oh, so relieved. We were so relieved because we're like, Kenny knows. He's been here. He's seen it.
He knows the job.
Yeah.
He knows what it entails.
Well, yeah, Shane called me and he said, "Hey, we've got a job for you guys. Can you quote it up? It's at Webb Street in Stafford." And I'm like, "Yeah, know the one. Here's the quote."
Pretty done. Yeah, no.
So yeah, it was. We've got a working relationship with them, and they know that's what we do. So he goes, "We're not going anywhere else." And so I was like, "Well, this is great." And
we discovered there's less than a handful of people in Brisbane that do it and do it well.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah.
And I think what you're doing here and highlighting is to people, they'll either think twice about doing it or push the point of getting someone who is passionate about it and to do it properly. Like, I don't know what's going on in the industry. Like, I know that's your bag, and the big companies that sell this stuff probably need to highlight that to the clients that want this stuff. You know, like, you want something to look beautiful on your home. These are the guys you need to have.
Yeah.
Not just Joe Blow, roofer, builder, whoever it is to do it. And I think the average blow Joe that loves the look of it doesn't know that. You know, so
that's something we are working on.
Yeah,
with roll formers and Blue Scope to educate as much as we possibly can. Yeah. So it is, because the last thing I mean, as much as we get good views, people looking at how bad the stuff is, people love to see bad things. They want to see train wrecks. Yeah. They don't want to see beautiful stuff. The problem is we don't want to see the train wrecks. We'd rather just be doing good jobs.
Yeah.
So because it's you don't get back all your stress, your pain, the anxiety, like you said, you kind of feel now that you're normal again. Oh. You said that earlier when we came in.
It's been, for the first time in a long time, I was like, I've actually have nothing constantly running through my mind. Like, it sounds so silly, but it's like I go to bed thinking about it, I dream about it, I wake up thinking about it. And because this was Ben's non-negotiable, there were two things in the whole build that we were like, the non-negotiables, this is what we want, it's the look that we want. And, you know, like I said, had the builder had just said, I need more money, or whatever the case is, I need to get a professional in, then we could have worked it out, you know. But the fact that I'm so glad we're at the end now, but it has been a long process, and I'm, as much as we're at the end, I'm so glad we stuck it out, because there was plenty of times I just wanted to give up, but I'm so glad that we did, and at the end I know it's going to be beautiful. So
well, let's give you guys the non-negotiable that you asked for, and let's make that happen. So a couple of months time, this will be your dream home that you're actually after.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't.
Yeah, we're proud to show it off.
You will be. I'll be proud to show it off for you. All right, guys. Well, there we have it here at Webb Street. Stay tuned. See what we do. We're going to be ripping this off, and we're going to make this look absolutely amazing. We're going to turn this into the house that Ben and Lisa wanted as their non-negotiable. Turn it into the house that they dreamed of, that they've worked for 10 years to save, to get this beautiful house off the ground and make it a place that they can have as a home for their family. Awesome. GLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly.
You ugly.
Global warming. all the wasted material that goes into the world and has to be reburned and turned into Temu toys.